Hello and welcome on France 24. I'm Clarisse Fortuné and you're watching Eye on Africa. First, our top stories. Surge of Marburg virus cases in Rwanda. 12 people died in 2 weeks. The country has launched a trial of a vaccine to try to tackle the outbreak. More than 17 million people in Mozambique will go to the polls on Wednesday. We'll get a look at the main contenders vying for the country's top position. Reusable sanitary pads are not only good for the environment, but for some women in Kenya, a way to avoid the hardship of begging in the streets on Mombasa. In Rwanda, the Marburg virus has already killed 12 people in 2 weeks. The country started distributing 700 doses of a vaccine that is still in a testing phase. This is the first time it will be deployed during an outbreak in Africa. The Ebola-like disease is only transmitted through direct contact with blood or other fluids of an infected patient, and the mortality rate can reach up to 88%. Report from Kigali by Clément Diroma.
Rwanda has begun vaccinating healthcare workers and identified contact cases against the Marburg virus, this deadly hemorrhagic fever which has claimed 12 lives since late September. Officially, there is no WHO-approved vaccine, but the 700 doses sent by the American Sabin Institute laboratory have been in testing for 1 year in Uganda and Kenya with no issue reported so far, according to the lab. However, this is the first time the vaccine is being deployed during such an outbreak, and it is not authorized by the WHO outside infected regions. Researchers at this institute are also working on Ebola, which belongs to the same family of viruses. Marburg has infected 46 people, and over 1,700 Rwandans have already been tested. In addition to the vaccine, Rwanda has also received some experimental antivirals to help fight the hemorrhagic fever. For now, the authorities have declined all filming requests from France 24 regarding the Marburg virus, citing security reasons.
Clément Diroma there. And meanwhile, in neighboring DRC, mpox vaccines were first administered to hospital staff on Saturday, with a wider vaccine drive due to start this Monday in the east of the country. With only 265,000 vaccine doses, the country won't be able to conduct a mass vaccination campaign, but will first target health workers and people with underlying conditions. The country's health ministry says nearly 1,000 people have already died, with most of the fatalities being under the age of 5.
I just received my first dose of the mpox vaccine, which is a disease already affecting our health zone. We, as frontline personnel, are the most exposed, which is why it's crucial to get the first dose quickly. In 4 weeks, I'll return for the second dose.
My message to my community, as Darlena, is to respond to the call for vaccination, because it's important for all of us to stop this disease. Even if a vaccinated person gets infected, they will not suffer as much as someone who hasn't been vaccinated. I urge the people of Goma and Kiheru village to mobilize and get vaccinated.
And now to South Africa. 3 people were arrested in connection to a mass shooting on the Eastern Cape that left 18 people dead, mainly relatives who were killed in 2 houses on the same street on September 28. There are nationwide calls for more policing, in particular in remote areas of the country where crime is rampant. But even more frustration was felt today when those arrested yesterday did not appear in court. Tom Kennedy with more from Cape Town.
So frustration for many of the victims of this mass shooting in Lusikisiki that occurred over 10 days ago now. Yesterday, the police minister announced at a memorial for the victims that the first arrests had been made, and these 3 people were expected to appear in court today. Victims went to court to see them, but they were a no-show. The police then later revealed that they were only persons of interest and the main culprits are still on the loose. Now, this is just adding to the frustration to the relatives of these victims of this gruesome attack that left 18 people killed, 15 of whom were women, and the youngest victim was a 14-year-old boy. Activists are calling this an act of gender violence in a country that is in the top 5 for murder rates against women. So this latest saga today just making it all the more frustrating for relatives of the victims.
And in brief, Ethiopia has a new president. Lawmakers choose Foreign Minister Taye Atske-Selassie. He's replacing Sahle-Work Zewde, who had served as president since 2018. President's role in Ethiopia is mostly ceremonial. Sahle-Work Zewde is said to have fallen out with Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed in recent years. Her appointment was hailed as a breakthrough for gender equality in Ethiopian politics that leaves Tanzania as the only African country with a woman as president, Samia Suluhu Hassan. More than 17 million people in Mozambique are called on to vote for president and parliament in a tense mood on Wednesday, as jihadist violence continues to stall natural gas projects that could bring a major boost to its economy. Laurent Bestecher takes a look at the main candidates vying for the country's top position.
A year ago, barely anyone in Mozambique knew his name. But 47-year-old Daniel Chapo is now the favorite to succeed the outgoing Filipe Nyusi at the head of the country. The political newcomer held his final campaign rally on Sunday and urged voters to keep putting their trust in the ruling Frelimo party.
On the 9th of October, we are going to choose the person who will lead us for the next 5 years.
Hoping to challenge Frelimo's 50-year grip on power, Osufo Momade and his Renamo party were in the running again after a failed presidential bid in 2019. The opposition leader has been a vocal critic of the ruling party, which he repeatedly accused of tampering with elections.
Renamo doesn't accept this electoral manipulation, which represents a hard blow for democracy.
Another candidate who's frequently questioned the integrity of the electoral process, Venancio Mondlane, is seen as a dark horse with an outside chance at the presidency. The charismatic 50-year-old has known a rapid political ascension since quitting Renamo in June, his fiery speeches inspiring young voters eager for change. Whoever wins Wednesday's election will have their work cut out as they take charge of one of the world's poorest countries. High on their priorities list will be tackling rampant insecurity and a jihadist insurgency that's forced major oil and gas projects to stall since 2021.
President Kais Saied won a second term in the Tunisian elections with 90.69% of the vote. That's according to the Electoral Commission's preliminary results, which give a 28.8% turnout in Sunday's vote. Kais Saied, who faced 2 election rivals, Shab party leader Zouhair Marzaoui and Ayachi Zamel, who was jailed last month. It was Tunisia's 3rd presidential race since the 2011 Arab Spring, when protests led to the ouster of President Zine Al-Abidine Ben Ali. They found an alternative to fight period poverty for girls and young women in Kenya. A group of disabled women makes a living by sewing reusable sanitary pads. The money they earn by selling this environmentally friendly product means they don't have to go to the streets of Mombasa to beg.
These women are focused on the task at hand, sewing reusable sanitary pads. An idea that they came up with, all united by a common link. They're all disabled and facing daily discrimination. Some women have been struggling to make ends meet.
We started as a group of 10 women with disabilities, where we were actually looking at how we can empower ourselves economically so that we cannot go to beg on the streets.
And their product is in demand, given that the cost of disposable pads is too high for some women in Tanzania.
It is cost effective because when you use it, you use it and you use it again. You don't buy another pad, and it's used for 3 years. Then you can even buy another one for after 3 years. But the other pad, you don't you buy it every month, and so it is very much expensive. It is also environmental friendly because the other pad, it is just thrown away. People just throw it away. It spoils the environment. It spoils our soil.
While the pads are made by hand, Charity Jahasi says that they're able to produce up to 3,000 of them per week. And the success has meant that the foundation now employs over 20 members of staff.
And this report concludes our edition. Thank you for watching Eye on Africa. Keep watching France 24.